Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to Indigo Rising Tarot. Thank you so much for joining me today, and I hope you're having a great day. This will be your weekly reading for the week of March 29th through April 4th. And during that time, we have a waxing gibbous moon, and we bring that energy in from last week. It's a good time for a deeper understanding and outlook, and a good time for not only planning and preparation, but showing that we can be flexible and just make adjustments where we need to on those projects that we started during the new moon. We then have the full moon energy, which the full moon's on the 2nd, but sometimes the full moon energy can last the day before, during, and after. And that's a time of heightened senses and emotions. Some of us can be prone to feeling overwhelmed and anxious, some snappy and irritable. Some of us are just really happy and full of energy. That's where I come in with the full moon. You might have changes in your sleeping patterns, and that's me also. I can't sleep during those days. So keep that in mind and just make sure that you're practicing patience and calm while all of that energy is around. Also, we then move into the waning gibbous energy, and that is a time of self-reflection and rebirth, and a good time for us to just make positive changes, get rid of our negative thinking and bad habits, and buckle down and get back to work. So please keep those moon energies in mind as we move through the week. This will be an intuitive general reading for energies that you may or may not encounter, Scorpio. So, as always, please take what resonates today and leave what doesn't on the table for someone else. And your overall message for this reading is to expect powerful change. All right, let's see what the Scorpio Collective has going on for the week. As I'm shuffling the tarot, my fun weekly reminder for you is that you try to get out into nature this week. So, I know for some of us, wintertime is I just feel like, ugh, I'm not a big winter person, so I don't want to be cold. I don't want to go outside. If it snows, I'm happy to watch it from the warmth of my home and look out the window at it. I've never been that big into snow or cold. So here is spring upon us, which is so lovely. We've got flowers blooming here, and we've had the off and on where it's very warm, and then the rain comes, and then the cold comes in this pattern of whatever. But all in all, on those warm days, I do try to get out in it. It feels so good to have that sun on my skin again. It's my favorite, and I'm really looking forward to summer. So anyway, try to get out into nature, try to get a walk in, get out in the woods, listen to the birds, maybe feed some birds. I love doing that myself. Also, with the full moon, it's a great time to get out at night if the weather is working out for you in that way. Get out at night and just look at that glorious big moon while it's out and big. So anyway, that is my fun weekly reminder, is get out in nature, Scorpio. All right, let's get into this reading. March 29th through April 4th. Expect powerful change. Scorpio, your overall energy right now is the Queen of Cups. So very powerful change, but look at you. You are in control of your emotions. You're in control of your emotions, and you're just in a place where you really understand not only your emotions, but also the emotions of everyone around you. You can kind of look around a room and just see what's driving everybody emotionally, and at least have that knowledge. And you can be that person for people to come to and talk to when they're even trying to figure out their own emotions. And so you just remember that, as the queen energy, that is definitely understanding what your constituency is going through, what everyone around you is also going through, and not only your stuff, but you can kind of see just the whole big picture. So that's the energy that you're sitting in right now. Your current situation is the devil. So you need this emotional control, because here comes the devil to swoop in and just kind of mess up your world, right? That's what the devil likes to do. The devil comes in. This can be about some sort of dependency that you're dealing with, either personally or around you, someone's dependency. It's some sort of distraction, right? Something that's like, oh, look at you on your spiritual path. No, I don't think so. Let's get you, let's get you over here. So you're thinking about something over here that's not even important. So it could, and by that, I don't mean that like someone's dependency wouldn't be important, but it's like a distraction. It's like the devil comes in to do this so that we're not focused on the things that are really, really important to us. So maybe it's some obsession that you have going on, and you're so obsessed with whatever this is, either a way of being, or just obsessed with something that really distracts you from the path that you really should be on. That it could be some sort of insecurity that's like a false fear that's holding you back from doing something that you're supposed to be doing on your path. So again, don't let the devil get your ear too long. It is kind of a big thing for you this week because here comes the devil in to do this. Hopefully, we get to see the temperance card come out, which would be, if the devil's on one shoulder, that's the angel on the other. So, I prefer a battle than the devil being covering you, just distracting you all week long, right? At the root of your situation this week, is yeah, the devil does like to come in and get you when you're kind of just juggling and keeping things going afloat. And by this is like you're juggling home and work and family and all this stuff. And it's like, oh, am I even going to make it through the week? And the devil comes in and says, well, let me tell you, you could make it through the week if you had a glass of this wine over here. Come over here. Those little temptations that come in. Of course, if you give into that, you're going to have the glass of wine and maybe 2 or 3 glasses of wine. And now the next morning, now you've got a headache and you're still juggling life. But now you get to deal with your hangover as well. So that's what I mean by don't let the devil come in and distract you from what it is your purpose is and what you're trying to do, because that's really what the devil does. All right. In your recent past here is the strength card. You get to build upon this strength to fight this devil. Whatever this is that is trying to take over. So as the example, when the devil comes in and says, look at this glass of wine, and you're like, oh no, not today, because I have a really busy day tomorrow, and one glass of wine can lead to 2 or 3, and I'm not going to be hungover, so I'm not doing it. In fact, I'm going to drink a glass of water and I'm going to bed early tonight, devil. So bye-bye. Okay, so that's kind of how you need to handle whatever it is that the devil's trying to bring in and distract you with, right? What's on your mind this week is the Magician. And here's where your focus should be. Not the devil distracting you, but it's the Magician saying, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And what do you want to do in a positive way? Let's manifest anything. And where do you want to start? Which element? Do you need more love in your life? Do you need more money? Do you need more passion? Do you need more intellectual stimulation or conversation? What do you need? And here is the Magician asking you that. So I'll take Magician over devil any old day. So work with that. What is it? And take that time to evaluate. Instead of having that glass of wine, be strong enough to say, no, I'm going to stay on my spiritual path. I'm going to stay, on the path that moves me forward, that doesn't stop me or set me back. What is just ahead of you this week? As someone who is like, maybe someone who notices that and is like, you know what, good job, because I saw that you said no to the group chat about going to the bar last night, and I didn't. And now look at me, and look at you. Look at you going to bed early and all bright and chipper today. So almost like someone notices. Someone notices that you said no to something. Of course, I'm using that as an example. Always remember, tarot is a template of energy. So that example could be so many different things for different Scorpios, but the bar example is just the one that I'm happen to be using. But it's like almost like someone catches you being good and congratulates you, and that's what's ahead of you, and that feels so much better than giving in, right? What is beyond your control? I'm sorry, in your advice position, I take that back. Advice is to really cultivate some new passion. Cultivate this new way of being, even. And if you've decided, whatever you've chosen with the Magician, how do you want to move forward? Start cultivating that and let it light a fire under you. And again, let's just keep saying no to that devil. What is beyond your control this week is the World card. Perfect balance. This card is the end of the journey for the Fool, right? This is like some sort of happy ending, and that's beyond your control. And maybe the happy ending is just that you were able to say no. Maybe you heard this tarot reading and you're like, you know what? I can say no. I can say no to that devil. I don't need him. I don't need that. I can manifest wonderful, beautiful things in my life. I can do it every day, and it starts right now. And that's just almost like a little look what's coming. Look at the perfect balance. And this is the entire world is your oyster if you can stay on this right path, this path of being positive and manifesting things, and dealing with the issues, whatever you're juggling and struggling with. Find ways, maybe figure out here, whatever you're juggling and struggling, look at the cards, look at what the magician is offering. and you choose one of those elements to fix this, right? To fix it so that your days are calmer, so that you don't have this juggling feeling all the time, because you can't live in that for too long. I've done it. It's crazy. You do have to start to find solutions. Sometimes you don't even know you're in it until you look around and you're like, wow, I'm exhausted. So what's wearing you down, and fix it. That's all you have to do. All right. What is your secret desire, and what are you trying to avoid? Is the Six of Pentacles here. So, this is about giving and receiving. And is it your secret desire to maybe not be giving so much all the time to everybody so that you can focus on you? Could be. Could be. Maybe you're trying to avoid giving so much. Maybe it's your secret desire to give more. It could be. You need to ask yourself this: where are you giving? Where are you receiving? And is that balanced out, or do you feel like you're doing more, more one than the other? And is it anyone else's fault but you? Probably not. Probably not. But take a look at that. That's kind of a big question for you this week: is where are you giving? Where are you receiving? And is that balanced for you? All right. In your outcome position, Scorpio, let's look at you. Look at you making the right decisions. This is one of the happiest cards in the deck. 10 of Cups, happy family, happy life. That's way better than this. That's way better than this feeling of like, look at the water behind this guy. Just crazy ocean, just whoa, everything's crazy. This is fine. This is where you need to be by the end of the week. And if you make the right decisions and do the right thing, we don't need that devil. What's hidden from you this week? So, the Two of Wands, which is about really thinking about the future. Yeah, you're not doing that. You're just trying to get through the day. You're trying to get through the week. But look, you are strong enough. You're strong enough to fight this. You might have given in before, and start to reflect on those times a little bit. Maybe I did give in to something last week and I shouldn't have, and it kind of messed me up this week. So just, you get to, that's the great thing about a full moon and a new moon is new moon. I call it's like New Year's every cycle. You get to change and you get to do better, and you get to, go through all of this. Why I talk about the moon energy so much, because we get to go through and reflect and change things and do things, and all of a sudden the new cycle's upon us again, and we're reflecting what worked. You're looking back to see what worked. I think you can fight this devil a little bit this week and make things better for yourself. Also, while I'm looking, let's look up angel number 22 and 66. We did have a couple of repeats. All right, let's see a final message here for Scorpio from the Soul Oracle deck. Final words here for Scorpio to wrap this reading up. The creative no. And I instantly thought of this giving and receiving. Sometimes you just take too much on. And, I've done this as a mom. We raised 4 kids, and excuse me, there was many times they were all involved in different activities and different things at school and this and that. And people would ask me, oh, would you volunteer to do the da 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 da, or can you come and do the da 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 on the da da, and all of a sudden, and I said yes to everything. I was like, oh sure, I'll help, trying to be helpful. I was a stay-at-home mom. I figured I had the time and whatever. And then I would kind of not really see what I was getting into, and all of a sudden it's like all the stuff would come up on one week. And I would be this thing. I'd be this guy. Like, why did I say yes to this? This thing's on Monday, and this thing is on Monday also, right before the other thing. And then on Tuesday, I've got like 4 things that I said yes to. And I really did have to come up with a creative no, and promise myself I would go into activities and say like, okay, we did this, that, and the other. We're done volunteering here, or we'll volunteer for something a few weeks down the line. And I just had to get more organized about it. But sometimes we just say yes a little much. So if you're saying yes too much, it's okay to come up with your creative no. And I use my kids as an example, but I mean this at work too. Sometimes you have people that are just like, hey, can you do this thing? Sure. But, and we just start to say yes to things that all of a sudden we can't get our own things accomplished. So make sure you're getting your own things accomplished, and learn when it's coming, because you can figure that out. All right, let's get you a self-care wisdom card for Scorpio. What do you need to do in the way of self-care? And your card is the card called Reassess. You have the right to change your mind. The creative no. You have the right to change your mind. Can you just focus on you for a little bit? Yeah. expect powerful change. Go ahead and make that powerful change in your life. It's up to you to do it. So, Scorpio, thank you so much for being here. I really hope this reading has some good for your life this week. If you're comfortable sharing, of course, drop me a comment down below and let me know. Did you have something going on where the devil was really tempting you this week? And are you working through something that kind of has your life juggling up in the air, but you can fix it. It's like it's your life. You need to learn when to say yes, when to say no, when too much, when enough is enough. And if you have to be creative about it, then go ahead and do so. Anyway, drop me a comment, let me know what's going on in your world. If any of this resonated, or if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer those for you. Also, if you like my reading style, hitting like and subscribe really helps my channel. I appreciate that so much. So thank you in advance for doing that. And I want to wish you the best of luck with all of this, Scorpio, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.